Greetings from Latitude 10 Costa Rica Realty. Today is June 10th and there's some big news from the national legislature. A long-awaited package of incentives and benefits for foreigners thinking of moving here is on its way through to second debate and likely to be approved by the legislature today, June 10th. I'm going to give a quick overview of what that package includes. Stay tuned. Greetings from Costa Rica, folks. My name is Matt Rosenstiel with Latitude 10 Realty. It's June 10th, 2021, and today the biggest news coming out of Costa Rica is that the legislature is advancing a package of incentives for foreigners to move here. There's been talk about this package for a long time. It was part of Costa Rica's response to the budget crisis created by the pandemic. And finally, as of June 10th, we've seen approval of a bill in first debate. It's now moving to second debate and will likely be approved today, June 10th, 2021. And we're going to quickly go over what's in that bill and what it means for you if you're considering moving here. If you like straightforward information about Costa Rica, do be sure to quickly click subscribe on my channel. Wow, that's a mess to say. But anyhow, let's talk about this bill. By and large, the biggest component and what's really getting people excited, first and foremost, is that the government will lower from the current level of $200,000 down to $150,000 the level of investment that's required in order to get investor status residency here. That status is not permanent residency. It doesn't allow you to work here, but it does allow you to live here more than your 3-month visa that you would typically see as a tourist. And in addition to lowering the requirement from $200,000 to $150,000, they're also expanding the timeline to 10 possible years that you can hold that investor status through your initial investment. Currently, your investor status will last you somewhere between 3 months and 2 years. You can transition and request permanent residency after 3 of those years. But if this new bill passes, which again seems likely, that term will be extended to 10 years and people will be able to hold their status as investors. Again, with only $150,000 upfront investment. To be clear, that only has to be made by a family. It doesn't have to be each individual person bringing $150,000 to the table. If you invest $150,000, your family your immediate relationships can also gain residency as well. Let's move on to another exciting component and really something that people had been waiting for. This new legislation includes language that allows for 2 vehicles to be imported without taxes. That's 2 instead of the 1 that they had previously proposed. That's huge news for everybody down here because if you've tried to purchase a car in Costa Rica, you've seen that values here, prices are about 150 to 200% of what the Kelly Blue Book value would be in the United States. So they're removing the import taxes and fees for you to bring a vehicle from the US or Canada, enabling a cheap way to get your vehicle down here. My biggest advice still remains, don't try to reinvent the wheel in bringing cars down to Costa Rica. You need to think about which cars have good backup infrastructure for their make and model down here in the country. I think it would be a very bad idea to be the first person to bring down a Tesla top-of-the-line model that has absolutely not a single mechanic in the country that could help you fix it. Same thing with Lamborghinis, etc. Stick to the models that are prevalent here in Costa Rica. You've got tons of Toyotas, Nissans, Hyundais, etc. Call somebody who lives here before you bring your vehicle down or do some on-the-ground research. Look at what kind of vehicles are available here, what mechanics know how to work with, what vehicles have backup parts, etc. available, and start bringing them down because it's going to be import duty-free once this law is passed. The law finally also includes an exemption of importing household goods, another thing that was widely acknowledged as a good incentive to bring people down here. I'm not exactly sure what amount of household goods they're talking about. I would assume that you're allowed to bring down a container that will be exempt from taxes. But again, they're designing this system to make it as easy as possible for foreigners to come down to Costa Rica, bring only $150,000. Now you can import a car without paying those taxes. Those taxes would have previously taken the price of your vehicle from the US essentially to the price of what it would have been in Costa Rica anyway. So there now will be much greater incentive for people to bring down cars, and your household goods will also be exempt from taxes. We'll keep you updated on exactly what this all means, but the great news is that things are moving forward. They are lowering the requirement for investor status to $150,000. Save some crazy incident. Thanks very much for watching today. Do be sure to subscribe. Have a good one and take care.